And we are back.
And we have the game Alexander Zubov versus Magnus Carlsen, and the position looks kind of, very sharp. I almost wanted to say promising for Magnus, but maybe the position is much more tricky than, because black is a pawn up, but due to the fact that black has this weakening with g6, white has all kinds of knight g4 ideas, so black makes sure to be able to evacuate the king.
But will it work now, immediately?
Exactly. Let's check what's happening after knight g4. Magnus is leaning back. Look, he looks tensed, yeah? Looks tense, and let's not forget, last year Magnus has underestimated Alexander Zubov and lost with the black pieces, which cost him badly later in the tournament. So he has a score to settle with Alexander Zubov. I just want to see how, it was a very strategical game with a lot of maneuvering, everything, then it got very dynamic, because if black managed to stabilize, black has a clear advantage with the knight on d5, but white of course does not allow it. Sacrifice the pawn with d4, d5, and absolutely must. The question is, on the other hand, is it enough or not, or how much compensation or attack it gives for white. Queen b2 check is played. Black has no other choice than king g8 and knight e5. And all of a sudden, black has all kinds of c6, knight d7, rook takes d5 ideas, followed by knight f6 check at the end. So rook fd8 is a good prophylactics against c6, knight d7, and also getting ready to, after rook takes d5, to be able to capture back with the rook. But the question is, the big question is, what's happening after knight g4? Will Magnus go for h5? Would Magnus go to h5? And another big question, does it make sense for white to include
c6.
the move c6, queen, also not sure, queen e7 or queen c7 moves? So a tough choice also for white. Maybe first let's try to figure out what's in store after knight g4. So if I play h5, will you able to mate me or not? Was queen h8 check, king e7, now the queen is hanging, so white should most probably play something like this, and then I have rook f8. And look at this, how Zubov played c6 and Magnus was immediately holding his head like, he's in very deep calculation.
But after knight h6, I can simply play king h7, no?
Here you can, of course.
Here,
you can.
at this variation, yes.
It's not that dramatic, exactly. Yes. Here it's not that dramatic. So instead of knight g4, c6 is included, queen c7, and h4. So no direct, that's the point, that knight g4 is simply always met by h5, king h7, of course. So h4. In this case then white plays for positional compensation, because h4, h5 is kind of a very unpleasant threat, and if black plays h5 himself, then yes, he takes away all kinds of knight g4, but black will never be able to break with f6. And maybe white can play some rook d4 and even g4, and you will start to like this, no?
Yes, and I'm trying to find some counterplay for black. I was thinking about b4 and followed by knight c3. What do you think about this? Because I have to close the big diagonal.
You have to close the big diagonal. The question is, will you really be able? Because h5 is a threat, so h5 played by Magnus first, he has to stop h4, h5, and this b5, b4, knight c3 idea still remains. Also the question for white, how to put the pressure on. After all, black is a clear pawn up and a very strong knight on d5.
Yes, and this tournament offers a unique opportunity to combine on-board analysis with camera view, and I just surprised myself thinking that I didn't know what Alexander Zubov looked like, and I can put a name on a face, because it was so surprising. Yeah,
it's very, very important to have this, to know whom you are facing.
Yes.
One time I played against a player in in the first round of the Doha Rapid tournament, I was paired with someone whom I didn't know, because it was very difficult to see the pairings and I could only look from the side, and I saw that I'm playing against Amonatov. But it turned out Amonatov played in the neighboring board, and my opponent was sitting with a badge, but the badge was hidden. And from looking at his face, I didn't know who is this person. And it was just like 1 minute to start of the game, and I felt like it would be too rude to ask him, what is your name? And I didn't ask. And what happened, we started the game and he crushed me with black in 20 moves, and I don't know who is crushing me, you know. He has 15 minutes on the clock, he gives me mate, I'm losing on time, and he killed my rapid tournament completely. I couldn't recover after this terrible loss. I only recovered in the blitz, which I played very well, but I mean that game, really this fact, I think it was the first game of my life that I didn't know what's the name of my opponent. It's terrible feeling. When you just mentioned this, I immediately had this memory, this terrible memory.
But maybe you played against the wrong person.
No, it was the right person, yeah. It was one of the Atabayev brothers, actually, whom I knew later, but not yet back then. So, Alexander played my move, yeah, rook d4, it's very logical, white wants to go g4,
yes,
yeah.
Of course, so...
Put the pressure, and Magnus is taking his time.
But let's try b4 here, and then g4, knight c3.
But then always I can take queen b4. I mean, then you need b4, a5, knight c3, but that's too slow. So Magnus goes knight b6. Aha, very clever move, and a very professional one, to be able, first of all, to exchange the rook, and secondly, in emergency case, to exchange this very strong knight with knight c4.
At rook f4?
Then
and knight c4 here, yes, exactly. So that's the idea behind knight b6. Because rook d4 was also aiming to play the rook f4.
Yeah, if the knight moves there, but this knight b6 is of course very, very clever. Rook f4, knight c4 seems to work for black, because after rook takes f7, black can simply take back. f7, knight b2, and black wins. So white should not fall for this. There is a move rook ed1. It was one of my first thoughts, yeah, just to, I mean, it feels nice, but on the other hand, then you manage to exchange one pair of rooks, and I was not sure if I'm so happy. On the other hand, probably white cannot really avoid this. Zubov down to 4 minutes, yeah?
Yes, but Magnus is also down to 6 minutes.
Yeah,
and
6
with
and a
a
half.
very complicated position.
But still, in this moment, this 2.5 minutes is a huge advantage, because if something happens, he has time to adjust, and wow, g4 anyway. Bravo, Alexander.
So what to do? If I play rook d4, queen d4, rook d8, then you will go queen f4 and queen h6, so maybe queen d8. Should I try queen d8 here?
No, that's too artificial, then queen f4. But I mean, takes, rook d8 will be played, I'm pretty sure.
Queen f4, I might still have knight c4. But then g takes h5, I don't know what is happening.
And you want to go queen f4, yeah? I thought that then maybe some knight d5 will be a tempo.
But then I will go to h6.
Yeah, you go to h6, but then I can go, I mean, knight d5, queen f6. I feel like I have many options. I mean, this will not work out for white. Maybe I can play queen e7, and g takes h5, I can meet with queen takes h4. And I'm counter-attacking. I mean, somehow this, once you change this one pair of rooks, I don't feel that I should be really worried of this. But, of course, precise calculation is needed, so Magnus is taking his time. Rook d1, yeah. Rook d4, queen d4.
Look how fierce he looks. Rook d4, queen d4, and rook d8, okay.
Yeah,
Queen.
queen e4. It's more solid move. White doesn't want to give this extra tempo for black to bring back the knight. And I wonder if after h takes g4 is white.
Can you play h5?
Yeah, h5, or is white able to take on g6 also? I mean, there are all kinds of questions. So I understand why Magnus is very, very focused, because the price of each move here is very, very high.
And actually this turned to be such a thriller.
Yeah, but when we joined in, it was already obvious, because, okay, white was a healthy pawn done, he has to throw everything in and say all in.
All I had is just to ask if Magnus is winning with black. So let's see. Let's see.
And we discussed also that winning this game against Luzhniki definitely brings him into very fighting mood. On the other hand, fighting mood gives also good chances for his opponent.
Yes, and have a look at this crowd. I wanted to mention also that live commentary is also provided by Sergei Shipov in Russian, and hundreds of spectators are following them on the site. It is a very big festival, and a lot of activities are organized every day. So 3 more days, and I hope that you will have a chance to visit us. If not, then please post your messages, photos online, and we will be glad to read them.
When you said 3 more, I thought 3 more minutes for Zubov, because, I mean, look at the position and look at the clock. I mean, this position, even in a classical game, you would think that you need some 20 minutes to sort out what is your move, but Alexander will have to make his decision, and knight takes g6 is very tempting, but very difficult to calculate, and he moved his hand towards the g4 pawn. He didn't touch it, but it seemed like he wants to recapture on g4.
h5 seems artificial as well. No, I cannot make it work. I wanted to play h5, g takes, and queen f4
But
here.
then I go queen e7.
Yes, queen e7.
And then c7. I mean, it's still just the beginning. Yeah, it's start of all the mess. And Alexander going down to 2 minutes. Wow, this will be dramatic. This will be dramatic, because to play this position with 2 minutes on the clock will be very tough.
Yes, but on the other hand, you want to make a precise move. You know that this is a very critical position.
Exactly. And he goes for it. He goes for your move h5. He was listening carefully to the broadcast, and Almira said h5. It sounds interesting, let me try it. And it's a very interesting move. Because you remember what we discussed with c7, it's really very, very tricky position. I will be wondering what Evgeny will say if knight takes g6 was possible or not, or was it a good move or not. We just don't know, and we don't have the time to work on it. And g3, counter strike by Magnus, showing respect for h5, yeah? g3, what does it mean? What does this mean, this g3 move? f takes g3 played. So black is still pawn up.
But on the other hand, when your knight will move, the g3 pawn will fall. So
of course, now you have the chance to play knight c4, and it kind of gives you stability. And top players, that's all what they need when they have little time. Just give me stability, and I will handle the rest. That's the motto.
Meanwhile, I think there was a draw between Gadir Guseinov and Dominguez Perez. So he impressed him, I think, with his opening choice, Gadir Guseinov.
Definitely, yeah. Well, very nice counter strike by Magnus. I mean, he doesn't want to open up his king. And Alexander down to 1 minute 20. Yeah, he takes on c4. What? Takes on c4? Yeah, so what does it mean? Queen takes g3 check. King f1, b takes c4.
He wants to take on g6 and to make a draw, maybe.
Yeah, but this will never be a draw. I mean, come on. how can this be a draw? Some rook d3 or I don't know, because gf7 I have king f, gf7 check, I have
I
king
have another
f8.
crazy move for you, rook f8.
Rook f8 also possible. I have to play g7
Yes,
then, yeah?
exactly.
And a tempo, pretend like it was all planned, yeah? Even if I have missed rook f8.
G7, queen G7, and rook G2 maybe.
Yeah, rook e2.
Rook E2 with
rook E2,
idea.
or king
rook
f2
G2,
or
of
whatever,
course.
yeah.
Wow. This is such a crazy game.
Yeah, and it's very nice for Magnus that now he has these 4 minutes, yeah, because this is enough time to sort it out. And rook d2, gf7 check, king f8.
King f8. And what now?
Well, rook e2 looks forced, no? But black is probably, I mean, it feels like black is better at least, if not winning. Rook e2.
I'm trying to make it work as after.
Yeah, he goes for the endgame. Yeah, rook e1, queen e1. Just don't change the queen, everything else is excellent. And queen f3 check, he takes the c6 pawn, and this is a technical win for Magnus. Yeah, as we discussed, if Magnus starts to win, it's bad news for the rest of the competition. He might just not stop.
Yeah, I was really surprised by Wesley So because once in an interview he admitted that when Magnus is playing in a tournament, the second place is already, it feels like a win. So when a top player gives such a declaration, it tells a lot.
Yeah, certainly.
About Magnus's domination.
And also the time tells a lot, because I'm pretty sure that Alexander missed something, and had he had more time, he would have kept much better control of the position. It's typical that when suddenly you go down to 1 minute and your opponent reacts well, then your position can just collapse.
My hope is that Evgeny was watching this game closely and he will tell us.
And he will save your h5 move, yeah?
Yeah.
Now this is the question. I mean, but h5, g3, I was not sure that f takes g3 has to be played, because there was h takes g6 with a lot of complications. Okay, I understood what Magnus had in mind.
Usually Evgeny disagrees with me all the time, so I'm sure that the computer will disagree with me as well. So I'm born too late, I think. I had to be born in a romantic era.
Yeah, queen g4 check, forcing the king to the side. And this is looking just very, very bad, Alexander. So Magnus very close of taking revenge for last year's loss. We don't know how much time Magnus has, yeah? But
he still has 4 minutes,
okay.
So this endgame will last for a while, and I think that Evgeny is ready for us.
Yes, guys, you were wondering what was right and what was wrong, and once again have to admit absolutely spot-on analysis by Peter Leko. There was something for Zubov, and indeed, if the rooks are getting exchanged in this position, black is fine. So instead of all the exciting g4 move that was played in the game, rook d4 to e4 was the actual move which would lead to a great advantage for white. To such a great advantage that the computer itself goes knight c4, returns the pawn, and, well, you don't have to be a computer, don't have to be an expert to understand that this is, okay, that's basically a game for two results. White has a far advanced pawn on c6, and, yeah, black will be struggling till the end of the game. So the point of rook d to e4, if black does something half irrelevant, rook to d5, then knight g6 is a huge, huge threat. Takes over here, takes on e6. Don't ask me how it works, but trust the engine, it does work. And it turns out it's not that easy to guard against this knight g6, because after king h7, g4, now the same idea, the same move to open the king, but with more pieces, right? So do not trade the rooks. After g4, rooks were traded, and then it was Magnus himself who, once again, should he play knight d5, takes knight f6, well, no, not here, rook d8 was correct, pardon me. Over here, knight d5 was a very, very clever move. If he takes knight to f6, knight h5, black is safe. When he has taken on h5, on g4, h5, brilliant idea, and g3, so that was really a critical situation. You cannot really take, and black's position is bad. g3 seems to me like the only move to stay in the game, and really from there on, Magnus played brilliantly. But yeah, once again, praise Peter Leko. He felt that there was something for white. So white indeed seemed winning in this moment with rook d2, e4. Once again, rook d2, e4 instead of g4.